Hey, folks. I think we got everybody now. All right. So it's 4 o'clock. I'm here. Hopefully, you're here or we'll be here soon. And we got another Saturday Sentiments. Dr. Tony, you're the first one. Good to see you, sir. All right. How's the call to worship going these days? Yeah. All right. And we got our music and medicine. Hey. All right. That's good. Um, yeah. Yeah, this particular one isn't probably going to work so well for being in it, but um, watch and so on. So, yeah, and let me just see if there are folks in the YouTube or the Facebook side of things. Not yet. Okay, that's cool. Um, yeah, so it's great to see you all. Um, and today there's a couple of things going on. One, actually, let me start with the light stuff. I'm often representing somebody. So today, I'm representing my alma mater, Brown University, both with my shirt and my cup. Yeah, love my mugs. So proud member of the class of 1991. And that's actually related to what I want to talk about today. But I'm also using my headphones and my mic today for a couple of reasons. One, I've been doing a lot of talking and singing and using my voice lately, so it helps to not have to project that much. But also, I've been getting a lot of positive comments, some really funny, about using my voice. So, and most of those folks have heard it on the microphone, but anyway, so I'm doing that. And I'm also listening to my favorite station, Gospel Jazz Radio, on the Jazz Radio Network. So we're doing that. And, we're going to kind of jump right in pretty soon, but I just wanted to get those kinds of things out of the way first. I hope that you all are doing well. And today, first, one more thing. I want to show you a little picture. Everybody may not be able to see this but I might turn my computer around or something. Let me see if I can get it. Is this the one? Okay. All right. So, yeah, YouTube and Facebook folks, you can see this. All right. So that is the cover art, if you will, for my new single that's coming out on, actually it's coming out this coming Wednesday, which is my birthday, 51, amen. So I'm going to be releasing my own arrangement of the birthday song, and it's called Happy Birthday From Me. And I hope that y'all enjoy it. Why today is significant is because starting today, you can pre-order the single on iTunes, and it will. I don't think it charges you right away, so I don't know if you get the music right, but you can pre-order it so that you make sure you have it. I think they may, if I remember right, they may even give you a discounted rate if you pre-order it. I think so. But anyway. So it comes out officially on Wednesday, the 20th. But I'm excited, because it's a short little song, but it's my gift to you all, especially those of you that had the honor of being born in the month of January, the first month of the year. We're the few and the proud. So I salute each and every one of you, and I also, for all of you, whenever your birthday is, you can use it year-round. February to December works just as well. But y'all just have to wait till we get through. But it's exciting. It's an exciting time, and of course, Jazz in the Spirit is still going. So I'm excited about that. I hope y'all continue to support the project, and you know, I appreciate the support you've shown so far. And we know that we're still trying to get to our goal, the major goal of, 10,000 units sold, downloaded, or streamed by June 18th, 2021, so that we can leverage that for greater representation in the music industry, especially for those of us that are committed to this music we call gospel jazz. I've been telling you, I'm also reading a wonderful book called Living the Life I Sing. And it's by Dr. Alfonso Simpson, I believe, and Thomas Dorsey III, who's the grandson of the very well-known Thomas Dorsey, who's generally known as the father of gospel music. So it's a great book. And some of the insights that I've been gaining from there have actually inspired me to start a book of my own on gospel jazz, which I'm hoping to actually do before this year is out. So that's exciting. And then I'm working on a Christmas album too. So so a lot of stuff going on. And then this week coming up, I'm going to be going to the NAMM virtual conference online. So that's going to be going on all week from Monday all the way to Friday. So that's going to be nice. And then the thing on Wednesday is going to be, normally I would do my live presentations around 7:30, but I'm going to do that one later. I'm going to do that one at 9:30. So y'all just stay up a little bit longer with me so that we can hang together and y'all can wish me a happy birthday. Hey, Auntie, how you doing? Good to see you. So that'll be, from 9:30 to 10:30, let's say. So that's coming up. So just, if you can pre-order the single Happy Birthday from Me, you can do that anytime from today to Wednesday. I got the conference next week, and I'll be doing a special birthday celebration at 9:30 on Wednesday. So, all right. So now I think that's all the stuff that I wanted to kind of get out there. My topic today is a one-word topic. It's just the word doors. But as you know, on Saturdays, we talk about things that are, kind of below the surface. So doors are interesting in that they can open and they can close. They can also separate and they can also protect. They can withhold information. They can reveal information. Y'all kind of get some of the analogies I'm thinking about here. But in many cases, doors present us with opportunities to make decisions, often important decisions. Will we walk through the door? Are we supposed to walk through the door? Will the door impede our progress? Will we stand outside the door wondering whether we should go through or not? Very, very important questions, very deep questions, which, this is what I wanted to kind of deal with today. And listen, y'all, even though I'm talking, you can certainly, make comments. You can share your own thoughts. It's okay to have interaction. In fact, I like interaction. So let me just take a quick look. I think I see a few people here showing up on Facebook. Okay. Yeah. So Michelle, hi there. Thank you. And Patrice, thank you. Thank you both for being here. If there's anybody else watching on YouTube or something like that, just drop me a little note. I'd love to hear from you. So, my experience with doors has been really interesting. For those of you that may not have been here last week, I was talking about what it was like when I was 17. And oh my God, some doors, some doors that opened and closed, and other ones, the short version was that during that time, hey, Jerry, how you doing? Um, I had to make a very important decision about my major when I was at Brown. Um, and, I was really young trying to make that decision, but it was a really significant one. I had to decide I had thought I had decided that I was going to become a biochemistry major. And, and that was a door that absolutely closed. I did terribly. Had to leave the school for a year. Whew, Jerry, you remember. And then, I thought that another door was opening to computer science, but that turned out it was only to show me that it was a different door. Every door that, even when one door closes, the other one that's right next to it, it doesn't mean you're supposed to walk through. Sometimes you're just supposed to see that door and just keep going to the next one. So yeah, that was definitely not the door for me either. The door that that I wound up walking through was the one that changed the course of my life, which was the door towards becoming a music major and in fact, a professional musician as a career. So hello there, Sister Valerie, how are you doing? It was, oh my gosh, it was very hard, but it was the right decision. And so if you're facing doors and you're not sure whether to walk through, whether to stand there, whether to just keep going past it, the best thing I can tell you is to pray, seek guidance, seek wisdom. Don't just react or think that you have to do something because, sometimes we make impulsive decisions in the heat of the moment that aren't always the best ones. Sometimes we're forced to, but usually I've found that the best decisions I've made have been the ones that I thought about for a while. And in fact, honestly, the ones that I prayed about. So I encourage you to do that. But that door, the good news is that door, when it did open, I'm still in that door now. I mean, this was, I was 17 years old now. I'm about to turn 51 on Wednesday. It was a long time. But I found in that door, through that door, I found what turned out to be my purpose, my calling, the thing that gave my life meaning and definition. And I hope that you all can find that too. Some of you, I'm sure, already have. But it was life-changing for me. And, and as I went through that door, there were others after that. And so, it was kind of like you go through one, so sort of like, y'all remember, well, I'm dating myself a little bit here, but there was this old show called Get Smart. And in the introduction, the guy walked through the door and one slam, bam, shut. And then he was walking through another one. The idea was this like this very secure place that he was walking through. But I thought of that many times because you can't get to one door unless you walk through the other one. So that's what I did. There was a strange thing that happened. As I took the first step, the other one started to become clearer, but I couldn't have actually gotten to the clarity until I took the step. So I know that thank you so much. I know that may seem to contradict what I just said about taking time to think and pray and, get wise counsel about making decisions. The crazy thing is, that walking in faith is exactly that way. It's confusing because on the one hand, sometimes you do have to take steps and you can't see exactly what the end of the whole matter is going to be, but you have to take a step anyway. And at the same time, you don't want to just take a step through a door of your own choosing, or just, because it seems like a good idea at the time. That's not really advised. So that's why it's important that you just seek wisdom and pray, because sometimes the answer is not always take a long time doing it. Sometimes it just may be like, no, go now. Don't wait. All I can do is speak from my own experience and hope that you all get something from that. But I found that it works. It works for me. And that's literally why I'm here today, to be able to share this with you. And again, I thank you for taking time out of your busy Saturday afternoon to check me out. Another thing about doors is that they look different. There's some doors that look like really promising, like, man, this door looks so nice. Whatever's on the other side of it has got to be nice. But that's not always the case. And then sometimes you have doors that look kind of raggedy and weather beaten and just like, there's nothing on the other side of that. But on the other side of that door is amazing stuff inside. But you would never know it if you just judged based on the way the door looked. So don't let the look of the door discourage you or dissuade you from taking the step that you might need to take. Sometimes you got to walk through some doors that look a little crazy in order to find what it is that's really meant for you. The other thing is that sometimes you have to walk out of doors in order to get to the next destination. And that can be hard because we get comfortable where we are. We're like, hey, everything is good. I'm used to things going right here. That's right, Jerry. Everything is cool, and I just, I'm comfortable here. It's not 100% great, but it's what I know. But the crazy thing is, in this life, we're not usually called to just stay still. Where, life is about movement and it's about change. And I'll be the first to tell you, the older I get, the more I like to hold on to stuff, and I get used to things. I get into a routine of like, I don't really want to change it. But sometimes that's the very thing that I need to do next, is I need to change. So doors allow us to walk out of situations, and it doesn't always have to be, oh, I'm mad or there's something wrong. It might just be like, this room has gotten too small for me now, and I need to go into a bigger room. Sometimes it might be, people talk about seasons all the time. This is the time that you were meant to be here, but after this, it's a different season, and so you gotta walk out the door into the next season, then sometimes doors may be holding you back, or may have you stuck in situations that are not healthy for you, and so those, that kind of walking out of a door is more like a self-preservation, or just like for your own health. You can't stay in that door and just and continue to be healthy. So you gotta take that walk. You may not see what's on the other side of it, but sometimes you just, all right, okay, let me go ahead and take that step. I'm gonna tell y'all, I was working on this CD. I started, and I don't mind saying it, I started working on this CD. My very first session was in November of 1999. Okay. And the song that I'm going to play for y'all a little bit later, that's when we first started the session for that song in November of 1999. But it was a process. Oh my God. So many doors. Oh my God. Just walking and walking and walking. Sometimes falling down, getting back up. Sometimes having a door just slam in my face hard, like ooh, that hurt. Other times, just being gently pushed through the door, and I was the one holding myself back. Different things. A lot can happen over 21 years, but the main thing is that I did walk through all the doors, and that's the reason why I'm able to share a CD like Jazz in the Spirit with y'all now. Many of the songs have been in the works for a long time, but they just weren't, whether they weren't ready, I wasn't ready, I don't know, the industry wasn't ready, I don't know. But the point is that they're here now. And, for all the difficulty that we went through in 2020, I am just delighted to say that finally, for me, 2020 kicked the door down. Okay, like violently, because because I'm also a church musical director. I play for a wedding band. I teach lessons on piano and sax. I've got a family. There's a lot of things that I have responsibilities on the regular, and so it's not always easy to carve out time for those things that are, in that little kind of quadrant section. They say, things that are important but not urgent. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, Ma, how are you doing? So, thank you, Ma. I really, really appreciate that. My mom's on the line, y'all. So in some ways, 2020 just it literally blew the door off the hinges. Because all of this stuff that I had been spending so much time on, and I'm not complaining about it, but it was, I guess, impeding me from really, really delving into this thing that had been on my heart for such a long time, and that was so near and dear to my heart, but just always seemed to take a back seat to any and everything else. And so everything got shut down. Church got shut down, gigs got shut down, going outside got shut down, socializing got shut down, everything got shut down. We retooled and found ways to do some things, but mostly it was shut down. So what happened when it shut down? I got very reflective, like, oh man, what am I gonna do? And that's one of the reasons why Friday Night Inspiration started back in April. I was feeling like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do now. They're talking about making these provision and that provision for people, but that ain't gonna do it just for what I have to do. So I got to figure out something myself. Took all of my creativity, and I really wasn't sure what was going to happen. But I tell you, and that first time we did it, and I say we because it was me and the Lord and everybody else that participated. It was a thing that we all did together. It was amazing. It was really scary. I got all sweaty and nervous. A bunch of stuff went wrong. Technically, I had, my tracks weren't working at one point. I wound up playing some stuff a cappella. It was crazy. Didn't know what I know now about things like lighting and all that, whatever. So, but I took the step through the door, which is the big thing. And that actually paved the way for everything else. That was the year that I reconnected with my publicist, Andrea Renee Williams. And I don't mind calling her name out because she's fantastic. If any of you have projects that you want publicity on, listen, talk to her because she is phenomenal. And, she will get the job done. And all the stuff that I've been able to do in terms of like, just the little mini tour I did with those Christian TV stations, radio stations that have gotten to hear my stuff, articles that have been written about me, reviews and all that kind of stuff. I mean, she's a powerhouse and, well worth the investment. The crazy thing is I had encountered her before, almost 10 years ago when I first came to Virginia. But at the time, I mean, what the stuff she was talking about then seemed like it was great, but it was, I just wasn't in a financial position to kind of do it. And not only that, I might have been able to find the money, but I didn't have a project yet. Like, Jazz in the Spirit was already in the works and most of the recording was done, but, it was nowhere near ready. That's right, Jerry. I hear you. It was in fact, Brother Jerry Isaac, he's on Facebook right now. He was one of the singers who sang on Jazz in the Spirit, and thank you for doing that. Wonderful tenor soloist in my home church in New York, and we so it wasn't time for me to walk through the door, much as I wanted to. It's like I could see it, but it wasn't time yet. And so, when we hooked up again, I showed her the email that I sent to her, not long after we got to town. And she was like, wow. I was like, yeah, same me. And I was talking about the same thing. I was like, I got this project about gospel and jazz and, I want to get some publicity on it and all that stuff. Yep. That's right, Jerry. It wasn't time to walk through the door. So, but I am so glad, like I said, that 2020 just blew the door right off the hinges and everything shut down. And what was crazy? She asked me a very, very simple question, or what seems like a very simple question. It's like, okay, so what date are you going to release the CD? And I was like, remember in The Honeymooners, what's his name, Jackie Gleason, when he didn't know what to say, he was like, humana. That's how I felt, because I didn't have an answer for her. Dr. Tony, I was not nearly as organized as I know you are. Dr. Tony McNeil, he's a wonderful church administrator, music instructor, choir director, all this wonderful stuff, workshop presenter. And he's extremely organized, and he'll tell you in a minute, that's what you got to do when you're trying to get your church ministry going and all that kind of stuff. And I took a lot of notes because that definitely does not come naturally to me. It's just the way my mind is and the way I was made, I guess. I'm much better on the lofty concepts, the big, visionary things. I was talking about Dr. King last night. I totally understand where he's coming from, because I have dreams too. I seriously do. That's what Jazz in the Spirit really is a dream that the Lord gave me. And I shared my vision statement like a couple of weeks ago. It's still up if y'all want to check it out. But it's a dream, but I'm so excited that I'm actually moving towards making the dream a reality. That's really exciting, because it's not just my dream, it's a dream for myself and so many other people that I really believe can have a huge impact on everybody who does this music, who espouses this music, that sort of thing. So when she asked me that simple question, what date is it going to be released? I really didn't have a good answer for her. So I said, well, Juneteenth, how about that? She said, why Juneteenth? And I said, well, what was in my mind, because this was, maybe around April or so, the whole shutdown from the pandemic was relatively new. And I was thinking, okay, well, by that time, the smoke should have cleared. Everybody should have been able to, hopefully we would have been able to come back out again. So I thought, right? Silly me. So I was thinking, this is the kind of the concept. I'm always a concept guy. Was that, just as the people in Galveston, Texas waited and waited, I think it was 1865, like almost 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, it took that long for the word to get out to those folks in Galveston, Texas, that they were actually free. So in a similar way that we've been waiting and waiting and waiting to be released, my thought was that my Jazz and Spirit CD was going to be a release commemorating a release. And I was hoping we would also be released so that I could have the release party at this venue here in the Richmond area. It's called the Black History Museum and Cultural Center. And why that was significant to me is because when I first came to town, I had a listening party for my music there. Again, I didn't have a project yet, so I just wanted people to know about Jazz and Spirit. That was back in 2006. So the thing is, the museum was closed because of COVID, and they weren't going to open up again anywhere close to that time. So that part of the release commemorating a release just did not happen. So what did I do? I had the CD release party here in my basement. And that video is still up too, if any of you want to go check it out. It's actually on all. It's on Instagram, it's on Facebook, and it's on YouTube. So it was on Juneteenth, 2020. So if you want to just find the date, that's when I did it. And did everything right here. And you know what else? I had a release party. And I had an after party. So because Instagram makes you have to end after an hour. So after an hour, I took a 15-minute break. It was basically like a little intermission. I said, all right, y'all, I'm going to be right back. I changed my clothes, put up some new music, and then I came back for the after party, So it called for a lot of ingenuity, but I'm telling you, it just, like I said, 2020 kicked the door down. So all of my preconceived notions had to go out the window with it. And I'm so, so, so glad that I was able to walk through that door. And Brother Jerry, thank you. He said it was a pleasure working with you on Jazz in the Spirit. You're a truly gifted musician and a great person. That means so much to me, Brother Jerry. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And you too, sir. Absolutely. I was very selective in who I chose to have on my CD. It was like having one of my children, So that you were part of that it means a lot to me. So that's the door story, y'all. And the doors keep opening because, of course, once you release a project, you got to do something with it. And that's when I, got to see just how much more difficult it is for gospel jazz artists to kind of get love in terms of radio, in terms of venues where we can play. So many times it's like, well, your stuff is too jazzy for church and too churchy for the jazz club. It's like, well, what are we supposed to do then? Nothing. But I really believe that there are places for us to, and part of my mission is to develop them, if necessary, create them out of nothing. And I've done that already, actually. A couple of situations have presented themselves like that. And whenever the, I guess you could say the cold, hard reality, kind of causes me to want to be shut down, just like, oh well, this is how it is. So you just gotta function within this context. You gotta live within this box. I say, well, you know, that box is not all I see. I see something on the other side of that box. Or I see, it's like I don't just see what's here. I see what's possible. For example, in the same way that we have we have all these conferences dedicated to this kind of music, that kind of music. Why couldn't we have a conference dedicated to gospel jazz specifically? You know what I'm talking about? Not just like, okay, this is one little corner over here on the side, but no, actually be the main featured aspect of this conference. And folks from all over the country and all over the world come specifically to participate in that. Why not? I'm not aware of it existing anywhere yet. But if y'all will help me, I'd like to create one. And if those of you who have an interest like me would like to partner, let's go. Because I know for a fact that there are people who are interested in this music specifically. There was someone who said to me just recently, she's like, I like jazz gospel now. I can hear all my thoughts. I was like, wow, that's cool. I would have never thought of that. But that's a cool way to think of it. Some people have said, it's very meditative. It's relaxing. It's soothing. It causes me to, it doesn't bombard me, So, hey, I think that's awesome. So anything that you all think of to describe how gospel jazz affects you, share it with me. I have that email. I always say it, info @jazzinthespirit.com. You can send me an email and let me know. The other thing is, and I've said this before, that this is music for me that helps to kind of keep me straight. In other words, I like listening to quote unquote secular jazz too. And I love it. I mean, it's something I've listened to most of my life, but it doesn't necessarily create a transformation for me or sort of like affect me on the spiritual level. That's what's different about gospel jazz. Like for example, let me take a quick look. Oh, actually, there was a song that was playing just a minute ago called "Were You There" by saxophonist Ron Brown. He passed away not long ago, actually, but even though he's just playing notes, the tune says, "Were you there when they crucified my Lord?" So, when I listen to that, it does something to me that's different than if I'm just listening to, My One and Only Love or, Misty or, something that's just kind of like a song that doesn't necessarily have a spiritual message. So, so that's one of the ways in which it helps to kind of keep me straight, kind of keep my mind focused on the things that I should be focused on. So this idea of, walking through doors and the importance of it cannot be overstated. There are doors everywhere if we're looking. And, whatever the door is that you might be looking at right now, I want to encourage you to consider that door carefully. Is it a door you're supposed to walk through? Is it a door you're supposed to walk past? Is there going to be a situation where the door is a door that you cannot open, that it has to be open for you, or you need help opening it? There are all kinds of things to think about when it comes to doors. And, the next time you look at a door, I want you to kind of remember this conversation and think like, wow, remember when he was talking about doors. um, so, one of the things I want to share with y'all, because many times I'll try to tie what I'm talking about to one of my songs. One of my favorite hymns of all time is a song by Reverend Charles Albert Tindley, who was actually uh, a forerunner of Thomas Dorsey, believe it or not. He was even older. And he wrote this song called We'll Understand It Better By and By. And, the song was like, by and by, when the morning comes, all the saints of God are gathered home. We'll tell the story how we've overcome, but we'll understand it better by and by. And the crazy thing is, that's usually a song that you hear a lot of older folks sing because they're thinking about the great by and by, when they'll go and be with the Lord and stuff, and things will be dramatically different than they are here. But that song really resonated with me as a teenager because I was so at a loss. I didn't know whether I was coming, going. I really didn't know what to do. Hey, son. And it was so perplexing. And for any of my young people, if you are at a point where you don't know what to do, just hold on, because eventually it will become much clearer, just like it did for me. And so, so that song, and there's a scripture that is related to it. It's a scripture that says, Romans 8:28. That was one of my favorite scriptures. And I'm King James head, so and we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them that are called according to his purpose. And it's sort of like a convoluted way of saying you don't have to figure it all out right now, but just keep walking by faith and it will start to make sense. So having said all that, I just want to share, maybe not the whole thing, but just part of my song, By and By, and I hope that you all enjoy it. Sorry, it's kind of loud. Here's the chorus. Yeah. Right. And then we go into the solos and stuff. So, so it was a long, like I said, that was back in 1999 when we did the very first session for that song. And even the way we did it was a crazy story of Doors, because as many studios as there were in New York City, and still are, I was hard pressed to find one on that day. Thank you. Because everybody, hey, Dr. Wendell Woods, what's going on, sir? Thank you for being here. It was a tough time trying to find. I had 6 musicians, and I was trying to get them in there to record about 3 songs. And that seems like maybe not the hardest thing in the world to do, but I'm going to tell you one thing. That day, I might as well have been trying to, run upside a mountain vertically, and it was just, it was awful. But eventually, and even one of the musicians, I'm not going to call his name, But one of the musicians wound up not being on the session. He called me that day. I'll say this much. We were supposed to have the recording session. And any of you that do recording sessions know you don't, that's not the day to be like making decisions about what you're going to do. You've already thought that through. You've already talked about it. You've already made the plans. The studio session is just there to record what you were already going to do. One of my musicians, when I was calling him to tell him where the session was going to be held and what time, he said, I think I'm going to step away from music for a while. I'm talking about on the day of the recording session. So, that was an example of a door, I guess, that just needed to close. It was not closed by me. But ultimately, it just needed to close. And, I wound up, I didn't use them on that session, obviously. And I wound up having to do his part as an overdub a couple of years later, actually. But it was just so crazy. And so I'm not going to tell y'all that it's all going to make sense right away. It is not. It will not make sense right away. But thank God that we will understand it better by and by. So, y'all just keep walking. And, something I didn't say before, sometimes you got to knock on that door. Because you're supposed to be in there, but the people who are in there just may not know it yet. Think about that. Yeah, that's one of those that, you might have to kind of let that marinate for a while before that really hits you what that means. But yeah, sometimes you got to actually lift your hand up and you got to knock. And then what does the scripture say? Knock, and the door will be open unto you, right? That's what it says. So, these are designed to get us thinking deeply about the things that we do every day. Of course, I want to promote my music, of course, but really, honestly, the Saturday Sentiments just gives me an opportunity to share and flesh out some of the deep things that are going on in my mind with people, because I'm not able to meet up with you in public, so we get to do it online. It's almost as good. But you guys have been great listeners and great contributors. Thank you for all the stuff that you've said, and all the support that you've shown. Like I said yesterday, we had a really nice Friday night inspiration, and got to share my honor and my great respect for one of the great visionaries of all time, which is the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He's another junior just like me. He went to school early just like I did. He was even earlier. I think I started college when I was 16. He started when he was 15. And he didn't get kicked out. He stayed all the way through. So just brilliant man, and his legacy is absolutely still with us, still impacting us today. And I take comfort from the fact that, the world wasn't ready for him yet either, but his impact, far, far outlived him. And I can only hope that mine will too. So that's another part of the dream of Jazz in the Spirit, that this music and other stuff that comes after it will last much longer than me. However much time I get to be here, every day is a blessing. But that this dream can continue and flourish and be a blessing to my son's on the line too, to you, son, and your kids, and descendants way down the line, 100 years from now. Be talking about 2020, 2021, and what was going on, at this point in the century. So, so I'm gonna go ahead and get going, but but I thank you guys for being here. It's always a joy to share what's on my heart with you, and I hope to keep it going. Like I said, this is going to be an exciting week because my single "Happy Birthday" from me is coming out on Wednesday, and I'm going to be having my actual birthday. That's the reason for it. And I'm also going to be going to my very first NAMM virtual conference. That's where all the music manufacturers show their wares, and we catch up on what the latest gear is, and hopefully build some relationships with people at various parts of the country and the industry. Let them know that you're here. Let them know that I have a platform online, so if they want to send me their gear to demonstrate, I'm very happy to do it. So I got my little AKG headphones. I got my little Sennheiser mic. Those kinds of things. But this is so much fun, you guys. So thank you so much. Appreciate you, Jerry. There is the release I was talking about was actually mine. So, but Andrea does have some music out too. She's got a single out now called what is it? Who Do I Run To or Where Do I Run? Let me not lie. Just look up Andrea Renee Williams. She puts a little, accent aigu. That's the little accent over the second E in Renee. But check her out. She got some good songs out there. She went to Berkeley like I did. And great singer, great publicist. And I'm trying to encourage her to put out some more music too, because she's a great spirit. And, we got to encourage each other. We got to help each other. It's, the world is just a better place when we do. Because none of us are here just to benefit ourselves. We're here to make a difference. We're here to benefit other people. And, that's always my hope and prayer for everything that I do. So, guys, thank you. Thank you so much for joining in the Saturday Sentiments. I hope you have a great week, a great Sunday tomorrow. Go to church somewhere if you can. If you don't have one to go to Fourth Baptist. That's where I'm the minister of music. I'm not going to have any problems making a commercial for it. Fourthbaptist.com is our website. We are just going on Zoom now for almost a year now, and we just started posting them on YouTube too. So so it's there, and I hope that y'all will avail yourselves of that. Those of you that were watching on YouTube and Facebook, thank you guys, and on Instagram, definitely thank you all. I'm gonna probably hook up with you later to see if we can hook up something together. Just the focus for this one's a little bit different. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and get myself ready for service tomorrow and all that good stuff. But you all have a great day. God bless you all, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay? All right. See you later.